The storm was pounding outside when I opened the door in my soaking wet dress. But it wasn't my husband standing there. It was Jackson. His eyes lingered on me, and in that moment, everything I thought I knew about love, loyalty, and desire was about to change forever. Please don't forget to subscribe and comment. My name is Madeline, and I never thought one moment in a storm could change the way I saw myself, my marriage, and the man who lived just across the street. For most of my 31 years, I had lived the kind of life people would describe as stable, dependable, safe. I married Grant when I was 24. He was steady, a man with a job in finance, someone my parents approved of and my friends envied for his ambition. We bought a 2-story house in a quiet neighborhood, planted roses in the front yard, and told ourselves we were building the perfect life. And for a while it felt like we were. But years have a way of wearing down the shine. Grant buried himself in work, always chasing the next promotion, the next deal. Dinner turned into silence across the table, broken only by the sound of his fork against the plate or his phone buzzing with another late-night message. He wasn't cruel, not at all. He was still kind, polite, the kind of man who would open jars and check the locks at night, but he was absent in the ways I craved most. Touch had become rare, intimacy had become scheduled, and my laughter had started to fade into something hollow. That's where the storm comes in. It was a Wednesday night in late spring, one of those nights where the sky cracked open without warning. I had been in the shower, rinsing the day away, when the power went out. Darkness swallowed the bathroom, and I stumbled out, dripping, grabbing the first thin cotton dress I could find. It clung to me instantly, the fabric sticking damply to my skin. I pulled it down over myself, hair dripping onto my shoulders, when I heard the knock. At first I froze. Grant wasn't supposed to be home until late. He had dinner with clients across town. My heart thudded as another knock came, sharper this time, followed by the deep rumble of thunder shaking the windows. Barefoot, still damp, I padded across the wooden floor toward the front door. My reflection in the glass pane was blurred by the storm outside. Wet dress, bare shoulders, wide eyes. I opened the door. And it wasn't my husband. It was Jackson. He stood there, rain pouring off him in sheets, his shirt plastered to his chest, dark hair dripping into his eyes. Jackson, the neighbor I had waved to politely for 2 years, the one with the easy smile and the quiet confidence that made the air around him feel charged. He was younger than Grant by a few years, maybe 28, with strong shoulders and a way of looking at people that made you feel like he actually saw you. "Power's out," he said over the storm, voice low and rough. "Thought I'd check if you were okay." For a moment, I couldn't speak. The storm roared, lightning splitting the sky behind him, and all I could think was how absurd it was, standing there in my wet dress, hair dripping, staring at a man who was not my husband. "I'm fine," I finally stammered, but my voice betrayed me. Fine was a lie. I wasn't fine. I hadn't been fine for a long time. Jackson's gaze flicked over me, lingering a second too long on the damp fabric that clung to my skin before he looked back into my eyes. He didn't smirk, didn't say anything suggestive. He just looked, steady and unflinching, and my breath caught in my throat. "May I?" he asked, nodding toward the inside of the house. Rain was still pounding against him, soaking him to the bone. I hesitated, but only for a moment, before stepping back. "Come in." The door shut behind him, muting the storm, but not the storm inside me. Water dripped onto my hardwood floor from both of us, and for a second we just stood there, the silence heavy, filled with the sound of our breathing and the distant thunder. "I didn't mean to intrude," Jackson said finally, running a hand through his wet hair. "Just didn't want you to be alone if, something happened." Something in his tone made me shiver. It wasn't just neighborly concern. It was softer, more careful, like he was aware of the electricity sparking between us and trying not to ignite it. I should have thanked him and sent him home. That would have been the right thing to do. But instead, I found myself saying, "Do you want a towel?" His lips curved into the faintest smile. "That would be nice." I turned, heart racing, and walked toward the linen closet. I knew he was watching me, knew the wet dress left little to the imagination, and every step felt heavier, hotter. My fingers fumbled with the towels, and when I turned back, he was closer than before, standing in the hallway, water still dripping from his shirt. "Here," I said, my voice barely above a whisper, holding out the towel. His hand brushed mine as he took it, and the contact was like a spark. I inhaled sharply, meeting his eyes, and for a moment the world outside, The storm, the darkness, the reality of my marriage faded. There was only Jackson, his presence filling the space, his eyes searching mine like he could see straight through me. "You're shivering," he said softly. "I'm fine," I whispered again, though my body betrayed me. My skin was gooseflesh, my breath uneven. He reached out, hesitated, then let the towel brush lightly across my damp hair, blotting the water away. The gesture was gentle, almost reverent, but it sent a shockwave through me. No one had touched me with such careful attention in so long. "Madeline," he murmured, my name heavy on his tongue. I closed my eyes. For one breathless moment, I wanted to give in, to the storm, to the loneliness, to him. But when I opened my eyes, reality came rushing back. Grant. My husband. The life I had built. I stepped back, clutching the towel to my chest like a shield. "I thank you. Really. But you should probably. I mean the storm." My words tumbled out, shaky and uneven. Jackson studied me, his jaw tight, like he was holding something back. Then he nodded slowly, draping the towel over his shoulders. "You're right. I should go." I walked him to the door, every step aching, torn between relief and regret. When I opened it, the storm hit us again. Wind, rain, chaos. He paused on the threshold, turned to me one last time. "If you ever need anything," he said quietly, "anything at all, I'm right across the street." And then he was gone, swallowed by the storm. I closed the door, leaned against it, and let the towel fall to the floor. My chest rose and fell with heavy breaths, my skin still burning where his hand had brushed mine. The house was silent except for the thunder outside, and I had never felt so alive, or so guilty. When Grant came home hours later, smelling of whiskey and rain, he kissed my cheek distractedly and went straight upstairs. I watched him go, my wet dress long since changed, my hair dry, my secret locked tight inside me. He never noticed the way my hands trembled, or the storm still raging in my veins. That night, lying beside my husband in the dark, I couldn't stop thinking about the man across the street. About the knock on the door, the way he said my name, the towel brushing my hair. And I knew, deep in my bones, that something had shifted. That one moment in a wet dress had opened a door I might never be able to close.